21 Business English idioms, expressions, and phrases. 1. A long shot. This phrase comes from sports like basketball when a player is trying to shoot from a long distance. It means something unlikely to happen with very little chance of success. For example, getting a senior position in the corporation one day is a long shot, but if you don't try, you'll never find out if it's possible. 2. Back to the drawing board. This expression means to start something again from the beginning because it's not working as you would have liked or expected. For example, this project is not going as planned. Let's get back to the drawing board and fix what's going wrong. 3. To corner the market. To control enough quantity of a product or service that enables one to then change the market price willingly. It can also mean to be the only one making or providing a given product or service. For example, Intel has pretty much cornered the market of microprocessors for servers. Their direct competition, AMD, is a distant second. 4. Hands are tied. When you're unable to carry out any meaningful action because of regulations, rules, or other people with authority. For example, I wish I could help you cut through all this red tape, but my hands are tied. My boss won't let me. 5. Up in the air. When things are highly uncertain, when a decision has not been made yet. Example, we were hoping to sign the contract by the end of the month, but there are still too many things up in the air we need to deal with first. 6. To learn the ropes. To learn the basics of a profession, a specific task or activity. For example, it took her a while to learn the ropes, but now she's confident and we feel that we can count on her to manage her client portfolio effectively. 7. A learning curve. The process of learning, usually from trial and error. We often say that there can be a steep learning curve, which means that one has to learn things quickly to meet the requirements of a specific job. For example, there was a steep learning curve when I started out trading stock options, but I now feel like I'm finally getting the hang of it. Another idiom which means to master something. 8. To go down swinging. An expression that comes from boxing. To swing means to throw an arcing punch. The expression refers to someone who fights to the very end, who never gives up until it's completely over and there is no possibility of victory. For example, the future of our company is uncertain due to our massive debt, but I can guarantee that we will go down swinging. Whatever happens, we will not give up easily. 9. By the book. To do things strictly by the rules. For example, I don't want to take any chances of getting caught by the financial regulators and having to pay significant fines. We have to do everything by the book. 10. To cut corners. This means to do things most quickly and cheaply to save time and money, but often compromising quality and bending the rules. Another expression which means not strictly following all the rules. For example, the company's decision to cut corners ended up costing them dearly when they got caught red-handed and had to pay a huge fine by committing fraud. 11. Between a rock and a hard place. When there is no easy way out or a good solution, whatever you do, whichever option you choose, the outcome will not be ideal. For example, management finds itself between a rock and a hard place after the corruption scandal that has erupted. Either they file for bankruptcy and hope that law enforcement forgets about them, or they stay in business and run the risk of going to jail. 12. From the ground up. To build or start something from nothing, from zero. Example, building a company from the ground up can bring you great pride if you are successful. 13. The bottom line, usually referring to the final profit margin of a business when all expenses have been paid. For example, at the end of the day, what shareholders care about is the bottom line, which will determine the dividends they take home every year. 14. To get down to business, to start getting serious about something. For example, we have wasted enough time debating on the official launch date. Let's get down to business now. We have work to do. 15. To get someone up to speed, to update someone on the current situation or to give them all the necessary information to allow them to complete their task or fulfill their mission. For example, why don't you come to the office and I'll take the time to get you up to speed before we go to the meeting. 16. It's not rocket science. Something not very complicated. Example, I don't understand why there are so many mistakes in this report. It's not rocket science. 17. To think outside the box. To think unconventionally, creatively, and explore new nonconformist ideas. Example, if you want to succeed in this highly competitive economic environment, you have to think outside of the box to gain an edge on your rivals. 18. Touch base. To touch base with someone means that you will contact them. For example, I will finish the project I'm currently working on, and then we can touch base later in the week. 19. In a nutshell, to summarize something into as few words as possible, as small as a nutshell. Example, this week's business meeting was, in a nutshell, extremely productive and informative. 20. Back to square one. To start something from the very beginning. Unfortunately, it can also mean that no progress has been made on your current project. Therefore, you are back to square one. Example, we tried our best to find the right sources and materials for the project, but unfortunately, we couldn't find anything relevant, so now we are back to square one. 21. Bring to the table, to provide benefit or negotiation in some way. Whether you bring an offer or negotiation to the table, or you provide skills or attributes that can benefit the situation or company in some way. Example, she brings a selection of strong analytical skills to the table. This is teacher Meysam, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next one, live long and prosper. Take care.